Hi, Crazy Eights. This is take number 4, and it's going to be the last one, no matter how it turns out. Um, hi, how are you? I hope everybody's well. I hope you're able to do things, still get to do things that make you feel like your regular self. I'm gardening a lot and taking walks and yeah, I mean, like all of us, right? I'm getting bored of the routine too, but it's good. School is going well. There's lots of good engagement, not just for my grade eights, but for my all grades. So I have very little to complain about and a lot to be grateful for. Um, hope you feel the same, or I hope you're able to feel the same, and that things are going well for you. So there's a couple of reasons for my video this Sunday. First of all, Friday was when I said I'd be doing this, but Fridays are busy days. There's, a few dozen emails to answer from students, and it's like a work day. So I find I'll probably be posting these little instructional videos on the weekend rather than during the week. First things first, your Stay Gold paragraphs. They've been marked forever. They've been marked for, I marked them all over spring break. We didn't find out we weren't coming back until, gosh, a few days before it ended, right? So anyway, all my marking was done and was ready to come back and give you them. But the reason I haven't let you know the mark yet is because it's 77 separate emails, and that's going to take me, at least a couple of hours, and I just can't rationalize taking that much time, to do something so small. So I thought, I mean, not that letting you know your mark is a small thing, but it's a lot of time for for something relatively small. But I wanted to give you the gist of it, which is that I don't believe anybody scored below 7. And but on the other hand, there was only a couple of 10s. It was only a couple of 10s. There was a couple of criteria that a lot of you sort of missed out on taking advantage of, which was $10 words was one of the criteria, and also making sure that your sentences were nicely complex and used variety and were expressive, just really your best craftsmanship in your writing. A lot of you lost a mark on that because your sentences were very short and simple, and they all read in the same, every sentence sort of read the same, right? So your writing was very plain, right? Most people did not lose marks for content because it wasn't a difficult task really to connect that phrase "stay gold," to think about what that might mean to you. Some people, obviously, you could bring stuff in from outsiders, but it was more important to me what you thought of it, how you would internalize staying gold. Anyway, if you're absolutely desperate to know what your mark is, email me, but hopefully that won't mean all 77 of you. Or save it up and ask me some other questions too. So that's the Stay Gold thing. The second reason I'm talking to you right now is I've got another little assignment to give you, which won't be due until mid-May. I haven't looked on the specific calendar for the day, but think of, you've got at least 2.5 weeks. Today's the 25th, right? 26th today. Friday, I guess, is the 1st, right? So it's almost 3 weeks that you have to do this, and it's not a big thing. I'm actually quite happy with the level and the amount of work we've done over the year with the grade 8s. The purpose of this task is to keep you writing, right? To keep you sort of engaged with writing and being creative. It's another creative write. It's only 300 to 400 words. It's a small one. And I'm going to email you shortly with the handout. The videos take about half an hour to download. So as soon as this finishes downloading, I'll be emailing you, because I got to give you the link. Trickster characters. According to students last year and the year before, not a lot of grade 8s have been introduced to them yet by their language arts teachers in elementary. So I think I know we were going to do something with Hunger Games, but in terms of your fuller education, I think the trickster characters are actually more important, because they might get missed altogether, and there'd be a big part of your culture would be missing out on Anyway, you know what? I'm super distracted because Ms. Lindsay is calling me. I'll have to call her back. Yeah, so trickster characters. Normally, we have a nice, long, interesting unit, and we read the stories together, and we, as groups, discuss what characteristics go into a typical trickster character. But we're going to have to shortcut it, with our distance learning, and I'm just going to straight on teach ya. There's also some really good many YouTube videos that if you go onto YouTube and Google trickster characters, you'll get quite a number of good videos about summarizing what characters are, what trickster characters are. And basically, they are an ancient type of character. They're probably one of the oldest characters in our history of storytelling. They have many qualities that they share the same. Trickster characters all share many similar qualities, which I'll give you in just a second. They are the ancient storytellers invented, trickster characters started to come into being in order for people to explain natural phenomena like fire or lightning, or also to explain away human bad luck, right? When humans just are faced with bad luck, or they're at the mercy of their lesser goodwill. Sometimes there's trickster characters you can blame. I was tricked. It wasn't my fault. So trickster characters, a good summary of trickster characters. One example that for sure a lot of you know is Loki from the Thor movies. Loki is definitely a trickster character. So is Jack Sparrow. So is Maui. Remember the animated film Maui a few years ago? Or sorry, Moana. And Maui was also a central character. He's also a very ancient trickster characters. So trickster characters, they are not the villain, but they're not the good guy. They're kind of a combination of the two. They like to play tricks on humans. They kind of love humankind, but they despise us too in a way. They're always trying to mess with humanity. They're quite often hybrids of animals and humans, or they are part god and part human. It sounds like I'm talking about Greek mythology. Dionysius, what you could consider Dionysius a trickster character for sure. He was always sort of too mischievous. Cupid was a bit of a trickster character, for sure. And so trickster characters, sometimes they can shapeshift. Sometimes they have magical powers. They often are malicious, manipulative. They're often, always, generally speaking, very smart, very cunning. They are selfish, often extremely selfish characters. So interesting, right? All of these characteristics make them very interesting people and very interesting characters. So your task is, and like I said, you'll have a handout for this email to you as soon as the video downloads. Your task is to invent your own, come up with your own original trickster character, and do a drawing, a very detailed one, not just vague. It has to be quite specific. And you can point to things and say, laser blue eyes because yada yada woof woof. Like, be very detailed, almost like a blueprint. You want to be very clear what your character looks like. You do not have to draw it yourself. As always, you can use collage, or you can do digital drawing. You're more than welcome to. And then the writing piece is a 300 to 400 word origin story, right? Like, you're not having to write a whole story in 400 words, but just give some background information on your character. How did they come by their superpowers? What made them this way? How did they come into being? How did they become a trickster character? Trickster characters aren't necessarily born, right? They're created by society. So I thought it would be fun for you guys to do, because you guys really do rock the creative writing, right? A lot of you, creative writing is a pleasure for most of you. So I thought, okay, good. Keep them writing, right? Keep them engaged and keep them writing, keep them being creative. And it's due mid-May, right? I'm not looking at the calendar right now. I have no idea what day May 15th is, but around that time, that gives you more than 2 weeks to get it done. And yeah, yeah. And that is, oh, just keep those outsiders, the outsiders 10 sentences and 3 short answers. They were to be turned in on Tuesday. I think I've only got about 6 more of the independent novel studies to send back to you. That's, of course, easy to report my mark back to you because it's a return email, right? I've already got the digital copy. I don't have to do anything else with it. I'm really happy with how they went. It sounds like everybody enjoyed their books. It didn't sound, none of them have been, it didn't sound like any of it was a bit of a chore for you at all. It was something that you totally enjoyed, which is great. And so I hope with the trickster assignment. And yeah, so that's, if you've done your 10 sentences for outsiders and your 3 short answers for outsiders, and you've given me your independent novel study, you're golden. Right? Stay gold. Stay gold. And you can work away on your trickster character until May 15th. And then we're going to jump into some poetry. Okay? So I hope you have a great week. I hope you had a great week last week. I hope you have a great week next week. I hope you're staying human and staying in touch with your own humanity, right? And I will talk to you and see you soon. Thank you. Bye.